Tuesday continues here on One News Now Business. I'm Danny Laurel. Here are the biggest stories on the economic and corporate fronts. Various transport groups staged a protest on the first day of the week-long transport strike. The caravan started at UP Diliman and will proceed to the office of the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board, where the groups will hold a noise barrage, after which the caravan will head to Mendiola. The groups say it is not Filipino drivers who stand to benefit from the program, but foreign businessmen from whom the modernized vehicles would be purchased. The MMDA earlier said it had 25 vehicles standing by for these stranded passengers. Manila City has also deployed e-trikes to give free rides to commuters affected by this strike.
Siyempre, instruction po natin, una-una sa ating po mga e-trikes, hindi ho sila pwedeng maningil. And of course, habaan po nila ang kanilang pasensya. Baka ho kasi yung mga tao sa kagustuhan na maaga pa rin makarating sa kanilang mga trabaho ay mag-unahan po.
Malacanang says more transport groups are opposing the week-long strike. The Presidential Communications Office said over 10 groups in Metro Manila and other parts of the country will not join the protest. These include Pasang Masda, Liga ng Transportasyon at Operators sa Pilipinas and National Federation of Transport Cooperatives. Some of them said they cannot afford to join the strike since they only make enough money in a week to cover their expenses. The LTFRB, for its part, assured the riding public that there will be no fare increase, at least during the week of the strike. The MMDA says it is monitoring main thoroughfares in Metro Manila as PUV drivers kick off their week-long transport strike. All hands are on deck at the MMDA Command Center, where traffic authorities may receive reports or stranded commuters. Authorities are also keeping an eye out for possible protests. The MMDA has also suspended the number coding scheme today, March 6th. Heads up commuters, another round of oil price hikes is expected this week. UniOil projects that diesel would increase by up to 1 peso and 50 centavos per liter. Gasoline, meanwhile, could become more expensive by as much as 30 centavos per liter. Oil firms announce price adjustments every Monday to be implemented on the next day. Inflation likely accelerated further in the month of February off of the back of higher food and cooking gas prices. A Business World poll of 17 analysts yielded a median CPI estimate of 8.9%. Now, if realized, this would be faster than the 14-year high of 8.7% in January of 2023. The Bangko Sentral has earlier projected February inflation to have settled within 8.5% to 9.3%. Economists say inflationary pressures likely remain strong in February due to elevated food prices and an uptick in the prices of LPG. February inflation data will be released tomorrow, March 7th. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. watching One News Now. I'm Dani Laurel. The local bourse reiterates its push for short selling in a bid to beef up liquidity. PSE President and CEO Ramon Monzon told the Philippine Star that short selling would encourage foreign investors to save. Monzon said short selling should be seen as a hedging tool and not a speculative tool. He explained that with short selling, foreign investors do not have to sell out but can rather hedge, and in this way the funds would not go out of the local bourse. Short selling is still awaiting approval from the SEC. Philippine Airlines has signed an interline agreement with Emirates. This partnership provides access to passengers of the UAE flag carrier to 19 Philippine domestic destinations. Now, these include Cotabato, Davao, Iloilo, Calibo, and 2 Asian regional points via Manila. Now, for PAL passengers, the deal allows access to 21 cities operated by Emirates, including Cairo, Frankfurt, Casablanca, and London via Dubai. PAL said it is eager to expand its reach and help stimulate business and tourist travel. The Securities and Exchange Commission advises the public not to put their funds into investment-taking entities. According to the SEC, Bitpocket and Agri Marine Ventures are not registered as a corporation or partnership. These 2 entities are also operating without authorization to take investments from the public. Bitpocket has been offering investment packages from $20 to $10,000 and promising passive income with a daily rate of return of 1% to 300% in 30 to 300 days. Agri Marine Ventures, on the other hand, has been using its registration with the Trade Department to, quote, put a color of legitimacy as its purported business activity when enticing would-be investors online. Now, industry experts say Netflix is the real winner in the Chris Rock-Will Smith-Oscars feud. That's according to a report by Forbes. This comes as Chris Rock put out his Netflix special, Selective Outrage, a year after the Oscars incident with the controversial slap among his punchlines. Upon debuting via live airing on Netflix on Saturday night, it immediately became a top trending topic on Google and Twitter. Forbes reports that the comedy special gave Netflix a huge win in the streaming wars. Experts say that even though the special may not break any viewership records, Netflix should stand out given the issue's relevancy and buzz. Cash is back in fashion in 2023. That's thanks to the uncertain global economic backdrop. Investors also see stock index funds outperforming actively managed mutual funds. Scarlett Fu shares the highlights from the latest business survey of global investors.
Holding cash will be a winning strategy in 2023. That's the verdict of a group of professional and retail investors surveyed by Bloomberg. Some 2/3 of them expect cash in their portfolios to be a net positive this year rather than a drag on performance, which makes sense given the higher yields in U.S. Treasuries and higher rates in savings accounts. It's a big about face from years of cash earning next to nothing because of near zero interest rates. Of the money that investors are willing to deploy in markets this year, they're more likely to buy passive funds, those that track indexes, rather than turn to actively managed mutual funds. In last year's equity sell-off, we saw active investors outperform the overall market, which often meant their funds fell less than the benchmark. This year, 2/5 of market watchers say the odds an actively managed large-cap U.S. stock mutual fund will outperform an S&P 500 index fund are low. In fact, the overwhelming majority of respondents see index funds holding on to or gaining market share in the next 3 years. At the same time, they don't believe actively managed mutual funds will go extinct. The reasons range from inertia to optimism that there's always someone or something that can beat the market.
And those are the biggest business stories of the hour. I'm Dani Laurel. Join us again at 2 p.m. We are One News, all sides, all the time.